comfortably, then it's time to begin. My name is Ken Deep. I'm the co-host of Doctor Who Pod Shop. It's the longest running Doctor Who podcast in the world. We're very, very old now, and this is my first year helping out with bringing some Doctor Who to Icon, so I hope everyone's pleased with our Doctor Who lineup. First, I want to make mention that, as you all know, Sylvester McCoy couldn't be here this year, and he had a very good reason to disappoint some Doctor Who fans. He's in The Hobbit. So I think we can all understand that, right? And I have to tell you something, and this is very heartfelt, as someone who worked very hard to get him to come here, and all the Doctor Who guests, is that there was not one single complaint when he had to bow out. Not one. No one said, well, that's it, I want my money back. I came here. Doctor Who fans have a certain mindset that's absolutely spectacular, and that is, if it's Doctor Who, it's cool, period. It doesn't matter who it is. So we have the Doctor Who mega panel right now, and we have 4 actors who are going to be joining us. We're going to bring them out one at a time, all right? Let's give them a big New York Icon 31 welcome. The first gentleman you know is Mr. Crane in Rise of the Cybermen and Age of Steel, Mr. Colin Spall. The second gentleman is consistently voted one of the favorite companions of all time. History in the making here, as we go back in the TARDIS to the Second Doctor's era with the legendary Fraser Hines. This next lady is very beautiful and an American, which is rare in Doctor Who. And she has the honor of being the one who kissed first. Please welcome Daphne Ashbrook. And the man who very graciously rode in on a white horse to save Doctor Who here at Icon this year when his good friend Sylvester McCoy decided to go play a hobbit is none other than the legend in a rare appearance himself, Mr. Paul McGann.
Thank you.
And it's time for a mega panel, boy. Where to begin?
White horse, eh?
What do we talk about today? What's the topic of conversation?
Who won the lottery? I want to know who won the lottery.
Not me.
They're still looking for the people, 3 tickets that won the lottery. Can you imagine having won the lottery and losing, or just not realising you won the lottery?
I think we need to turn
I put it in the shredder or something. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone turn their pockets out now. Yeah. Check. Just, you never know, do you? You never know.
If anyone's in this room that's won it, please share.
Please raise your hands and I will be joining you very, very quickly.
Yes, you're among friends here.
We speak very highly of you.
I've teased all the actors over the weekend that when they said, I wonder who won the lottery, I said, well, you'd have to take a pay cut now, wouldn't you?
Yes.
So we're all here celebrating something that we're on the eve of the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who. 50 years, half a century.
Which is celebrated in the month of November.
We're a little far away, we're about a year and a half away.
Oh, that'll fly by.
But already anticipation for months now. You've been getting questioned left and right. You've been getting questioned left and right about coming back. But let's go around the horn here because you guys have all had a special, Doctor Who has a special place in your heart. Let's talk a little bit about what it means to you, each and individually, Colin.
Well, it's quite strange actually, because when I was cast to play, the first Doctor Who I did was the classic series, which was called The Revelation of the Daleks with Colin Baker. It was, my agent said, go along, the BBC want to see you for Doctor Who, so I went along, and then a couple of days later, the agent said, you're going to be doing Doctor Who? I said, oh, great. Didn't know anything like this would come from it. Nothing. I still find it unbelievable that this has come out of that, just that one interview that I went for, and I got.
How has the welcome been in New York?
Oh, fantastic. This is my first time in New York. It's only my second time at a convention in America. and it's magic. I just think you're just fantastic. I really, really admire you. Thank you.
Fraser, what does Doctor Who mean to you?
Well, same as you were saying, when I started it in '67, it was a children's TV show at 5:15 in the afternoon. You came off to the racing results and football results. It was just a kids show. And do you want to do 4 episodes of the Highlanders? Yeah, thank you very much. I didn't have to audition. Sean Sutton was the head of children's TV, and I worked a lot of my career for Sean Sutton, and he just wrote me in. And then, as you say, years later here, I've seen all parts of America and Australia and all parts of the world, which just started up for me, just a job, 5:15 on a Saturday afternoon, a kids show.
It must be amazing, no matter where you go in the world, you all have a special place. There's always someone there to help you out. There's a Doctor Who fan somewhere who knows exactly who you are, no matter where you go.
I've been on holiday, and somebody tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, hello, it's in Chicago, and from then on, it just snowballed, and I just, we were talking in the car this morning, whenever you get asked to do a convention in America, you go, oh, great, great, oh, I hope my agent doesn't ring up with a job, because I want to come to America and do a convention.
Yeah. Paul, what does Doctor Who mean to you now?
It changed my life, I can honestly say, which was really unexpected, and when I was first approached to do it, I was reluctant. A bit skeptical, and I'm so glad now, after everything, that I agreed to do it and was persuaded to be in it, because it really has, it's changed my life. I've found lifelong friends, you know, from it. I really enjoy coming to these conventions.
I'm gonna cry!
Yeah.
Oh, I have to stop it. Go ahead.
Yeah, keep talking. And it's been outstanding. It's been the one job I've done. I've worked as an actor now for 30 years and done lots of work, but it's the thing that is, it's the one that will endure, I think. It's the one that makes me happiest. There we go. I've admitted it.
I think the lady needs a tissue.
I have one, I do. I should just take stock. Go.
We'll give her a minute, I'll
So
follow.
that's what it means. It means a lot to me now. It means a great deal to me.
Has your opinion changed since you first took the role as to what it means? At one point, was it just a part, or is it?
I think it was just a part. And I think that it's important, you know, I am an actor still, and you know, even if things are famous or iconic, you still have to consider the offer that's on offer, you still have to consider the part, it's still a part to be played. So yeah, in that sense.
But you think, is it fair to say it's grown in your heart? It's changed, that opinion has changed?
Well, it has, but then that's it. Doctor Who has also returned. When I when I was offered the role, there had been no Doctor Who, of course, for 5 or 6 years. So, you know, there's been this renaissance, there's been this, this new momentum, this new energy, which I think, you know, I keep saying it, but, you know, we were partly responsible for, so we feel, you know, gratified about.
Sure.
And now we're kind of, and now this wouldn't have been inconceivable, but I think it's a thrill, like Fraser says, to come to America with Doctor Who is an especial thrill, because there was a time when you may not have been believed, you know, or rather it was touch and go whether Doctor Who would ever really get a proper foothold in America, I think. But now, of course, it's well established, and we're glad for that.
It's almost reached a point where it's no longer a cult. People are watching.
I think it gave up cultishness long ago, didn't it?
Yeah.
Depends, of course.
It's scary though to call it mainstream. I don't want to call it mainstream. I'd have to
Resist.
resist the temptation.
It's unique, isn't it? I mean, what, 50 years of mythology? You know, and the you know, the special elements that it possesses. There's nothing else, there's no other thing out there like it. But there's similar things, but nothing with, you know, nothing that's able to, you know, regenerate, you know, carry on. 50 years from now we could be sitting here, you know, the thing could be 10 times bigger, but certainly, you know, 50 years from now, people will come after us and we'll still be celebrating this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know, whether you start, I mean, I started from, I mean, I was skeptical about the role, playing the role. I wasn't skeptical about the role itself. But I've been hugely impressed since.
It's grown on you?
It's really, really grown on me, yeah. Really grown on me. immensely, and still growing.
Daphne,
Yes, sir.
question from the rest of the panel is, what does Doctor Who mean to you?
Well, okay,
Quick
I'm not
snog,
gonna
quick
cry.
snog,
I'm not
yeah,
gonna
quick
quick
snog.
snog, and the rest of my life is written. No, no. I have to say that, you know, I certainly didn't understand at all what I was getting myself into, and what I was going to be then privileged to be a part of. And I don't feel worthy at all, but I'm grateful. And it is like you feel like you do have a group of friends. I mean, who want to know what you think about stuff, all right? I mean, what? Okay. So it's wonderful, and it's a privilege and an honor, and I get to work with some fabulous people that make me laugh and make me cry. Okay, and so I feel very, very fortunate. And I've got Bobby here, who I met at the Peculiar Pub, and I know this little Heather really wants to say hi to you.
Where's Heather?
Heather, is it, wait, excuse me, Andre, right next to you. What's your name? Faith, I'm sorry, Faith.
Hi, Faith.
Faith, you can come up and shake hands.
We met before.
You did? Okay. Because I promised I'd try to see if that could happen, but and
See how kind she
this
is?
beautiful family here who I've been hanging out with all day. So I just love you guys. I really do. So thanks.
And it's family, isn't it, Doctor? You know, whenever you go to a convention, you'll see it, other companions
family.
and other doctors. It's nobody says, well, my doctor was better than you, my companion. It's all the companions. How are you doing? What are you doing next? And all the other doctors. You know, it's like a big Doctor Who family.
It is. And so, yeah, it's wonderful.
Can I ask an unfair question? Can you reach into your heart and give me your favorite moment when you were working on Doctor Who? Each one of you. Let's start down. We'll come this way, Daphne. Do you have a favorite moment? Oh, I put her on the spot.
I'm first. Well, one of my favorite actual scenes to shoot. We were talking about this. We left the beginning part because we get to rehearse, and it was fabulous, and it felt, you know, deep and good. It felt solid. But I really loved shooting the elevator scene. Because you were just so annoying.
I can be.
You know, I was sitting there and I just get to be so annoyed. And we're both looking up at the number. I'm looking at the number, please get me to my floor on time. And this weirdo is like breathing down my neck. And so that was fun.
Yeah.
And I loved those scenes when we were absolutely in two totally separate worlds, and it was just fun. And those are the moments that I really had fun with you. So yeah, that's one of them.
You know what, it was the bits, because they were all night shoots, you know,
Oh yeah.
90% night shoots. You know, so we'd be there 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And my favourite bit was away from the shooting, but you playing the Billie Holiday records.
Oh yeah.
On the headset. And you know, we'd sort of sit around trying to
right.
keep warm, and every time I hear Don't Explain by Billie Holiday, I think about you.
Oh really?
How about that?
Oh, more tissues, please.
We're going to need a bigger box of tissues.
Yes, she's filling up.
Because you played that to me.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay, and you were introducing me to opera and really helping me educate me. And the Smiths, you got me into some.
That's
some
right.
Yeah, because I didn't know them, and you were like, oh. You gotta get the Smiths. Yeah, get the Smiths.
First of all, you got to learn about Doctor Who and then about the Smiths.
That's right. So,
Yeah.
So those were, fabulous. And Vancouver, and it was snow. It
Freezing.
did snow. It was freezing. But it snowed on my birthday, and, you know, my kid was there, my mom was there. It was just a good time.
Fraser.
The two moments. The first would have to be after we'd done all in the Highlanders. We'd done all the pre-filming where I'd waved goodbye to the TARDIS and it disappeared, and I was left with my lead and Hannah Gordon in Frensham Ponds, waved goodbye to the TARDIS. And about 3 weeks later, Innes Lloyd, the producer, ex-Navy man, came up, put his arms around me, and said, now they took down the corridor. He said, now Fraser, how do you fancy being in the old TARDIS as a crew member for a year or so? said, no, what? How do you fancy being an old crew? Because he was a Navy man. An old crew member in the TARDIS. I said, I can't in this because I've waved goodbye to the TARDIS. No. We'll go down next week and we'll film you getting into the TARDIS this time. And so we went back to French and Ponds with Hannah Gordon and the Laird and everything, and Polly and Ben and Patrick, and this time I got into the TARDIS and waved goodbye to them. So that was to me, that was just, you know, it's a job. You think, well, you do your job and that's it. Another 2 weeks and you're out of work. But suddenly, how do you know?
Oh, that's a nice moment.
I mean, of course, working with Patrick, I mean, you know, you've heard loads of stories. One lovely little story which I hadn't told this weekend. Patrick had a Rover car. And I saw in his motoring magazine you could get windscreen washers of the mannequin Pièce, which was a little boy in Belgium. It's a statue of a little naked boy peeing like that, see? And I saw these screen washers, silver screen washer. You pressed it, and across your windscreen. And I told Patrick, he said, no, there isn't. I said, there is. I've lost the magazine. No. On my way home, I stopped at traffic lights, and there in a car showroom was a second-hand Rover 2000, white, with on the bonnet 2 little silver boys. I drove in those days I just drove in, how much for my car? He said, well, we'll give you 600 quid, how much for that? 800. I wrote a cheque, none of this PDIs and check. I bought the car, went to rehearsals the next day. Patrick, you know, don't start another one of those stupid little boys peeing on windscreen. I said, you can get them, honestly. I said, I bet you 10 quid. Now, 10 quid was like £100 in those days. I bet you 10 quid. It's all right in your eyes, come out. Look at that, he went, good God, you're right. I said, I'll show you how they work. I opened the door, he went, what? Is this your car? I said, yes. He said, you bought a car? I said, yeah, just to get a tenner off you, Patrick.
He's here all week.
Colin, you must have a...
Yeah, I've got 2 actually that remind me very much of. One was it was the recording day of Revelation of the Daleks, and I was sort of just walking through the studio to the set, and the guy that plays Davros, Terry, came out of makeup with just the head on and just ordinary clothes, and he came out and he looked at me and said, God, have I got a head on me this morning? Which I found exceedingly funny. And then going on to the new series that I did with David Tennant and Billy, the thing that I remember, I had to wear these flashing ear things, and they would not stay in. So they're in and they're flashing, right, action, and as soon as I move, the bloody things fall out. And I can't remember how many times we shot this scene with these things. How we got them to stay in, I'll never know, but that's a lasting memory, that is.
Did they staple them in or glue them in?
I don't know what the staple, I think, but remember, yes.
Anything unpleasant that went on to get them to stay in there?
No, I don't think so. They fell out of their own accord after about 6 months.
You've had a chance, all of you, to meet other actors that have been in the show, and other actors from many shows, and here in conventions and doing things and working with other people. Do you have any memories of people that you may have met, perhaps in a situation like this, where you've met people that you may not have been in a Doctor Who episode with, or in your case, the movie, that you've met and hit off with and found that you had something really in common with? I noticed a lot. The reason I ask is this weekend, all I've seen is laughter, which has really been fantastic.
Well, one of the main reasons for that is that, that Fraser and I and Jeremy Bullock go back 50 years maybe, and we've just always been the same. We just start each other off, and we just laugh. I mean, it's very silly.
Make people laugh and cry.
We would indeed, yes. That's something. Let me cry. So, yes, yeah. So the Fraser is. It's just been a long time. We haven't spoken for ages, actually, have we? But we've known each other for years and years.
Was it interesting, Fraser, seeing so many old mates?
Yeah, well, seeing Jeremy and of course Colin, you know, and he said, we must meet up next time in London, because but you get to London and you go and do other things. But one I said about this family thing, Peter Davidson, it was not my doctor. I'd done a couple of panels with him, sort of thing, you know, but we don't meet socially. But I remember we were at Galley 2 years ago, and at the closing ceremonies, everybody says goodbye, you know, there's a little chat. And I said, thank you everybody for buying my books, you know, I've still got some left over if you want to, at the end of the closing ceremonies. And then Matthew Waterhouse was next, and then Peter. And Matthew said, Well, Fraser, I have no books left at all. I've sold all mine. And Peter Davidson said, Matthew, next time you must bring more than 5 books. Yeah! That's my next book. You know, I say we never met socially, we had a couple of panels, but he was on my side.
That was on your side. That was a bond formed right then and there. Paul, you don't do that many conventions. Like a Three Stooges episode. You don't do that. You don't do that. You don't do Doctor Who conventions all that often, so this is a rare chance to have you here. So this is a more difficult question for you. If you have any people that you've met in the times that you've been to events where you've wound up hitting off with someone that you perhaps didn't star in.
Annika Wills.
Yeah.
Yeah. And talking of books, she gave me these books that she'd written. And I read a lot of books. I don't keep a television, so I end up reading a lot of books. But I'm the kind of person that has 4 or 5 books on the go at any one time, and I'm a really slow reader. You know, my ex said to me, he was a writer, she said, I'm watching you. You read about the speed that a writer writes. It takes me ages to read. Anyway, so Annika gave me these books, and I thought, well, I may get around to reading them next year, or I may not, you know. And I was so glad I did. Has anyone ever read these books, Annika Wilson books?
Mm-hmm.
They're fantastic. It's a perfect snapshot of the period. You know, I'm married to Michael Gough, and this period right through the 60s, and working on the program.
I rang her up and said, why didn't you call me when you were living on Hornby Island in Canada? I would have loved to have come and lived that life.
Exactly.
In the log cabin, and going for a canoe to get your breakfast.
It was, yeah.
I said, you should have called me.
No, I can really thoroughly recommend those books to you, her stories. So yeah, that was a joy.
And you had a chance to talk with her?
Of course, yeah.
And she's really about that period. I know you like the 60s, don't you? And that book, her book is a snapshot of that moment.
Yeah,
it's her personal impression of life in the 60s.
Yeah, completely.
I can tell you like that.
She's very elegant, very charming, and no, I like that.
I'll give you another book to read as well.
Yeah, you're going to get so many books now, you've done it.
Yeah.
You got a few left then, Fraser?
Yes, I've got a few left, thank you, Eric.
Well, I'll reverse what I was going to say, then I'll start because Daphne just written a book as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Dead Woman Laughing.
Great title. Great tell us where you got the title.
Yeah, well, let me just fill you in on where that brilliant title came from. I was lying on the cloister room floor and I was dead. And I just couldn't stop laughing. And we just couldn't, you know, I was hanging up the chute here. I just kept like being in church. I just couldn't stop laughing. And I said something like, Dead Woman Laughing. And he said, that's the title of your book. And he said it in such a way that even Yiji remembers that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In a voice you wouldn't question.
Yeah, you just said it and it was so pointed. And you were serious as a heart attack. And oh yeah.
Shall I do it now? Do the voice now.
Do it. Come on, you can do it. Action. And so that's where that title really came from, because I've never forgotten that, and I've often thought it would be funny to, I've died a lot of times on screen, I've killed a lot of times on screen, I've almost died a few times in real life, and I thought this would be kind of a funny way of talking about life, and also talking, hopefully making people laugh. That was the main thing. So yeah,
and
there are more books.
You're writing a book, aren't you?
Yeah, well, I'm going to sell a lot when I actually publish it, yes.
What's your title of your book?
Pros and Cons.
I like that.
It's a great title.
All I've got so far...
Don't knock it, it's a great title.
Yeah, it's great. So far I've got as far as Pros and Cons. I've not written a single word. Chapter 1. Pros and Cons, Chapter 1. End.
Different direction. We're heading to the 50th anniversary, aren't we?
Yeah.
So get in close. This is for Paul. He's going to read this. But we're all going to get in here really close. This is something that his favorite doctor, William Hartnell, said. And as we get ready for the 50th anniversary, it would be appropriate if the doctor that's sitting here with us read this.
Okay. Ready?
Go. Action. Action.
One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. William Hartnell, The Dalek Invasion of Earth.
Ladies and gentlemen, Paul McGann, Daphne Ashbrook, Fraser Hines, Colin Spall, the Doctor Who Panel, and Icon 31. Thank you for making Icon a huge success.